Hello Narnia fans, and this is Edmund and Lucy. This video is a long time coming, but I'm finally getting around to review The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, the PlayStation 2 game. As you can see, I've now got a brand new controller, which is the reason why I haven't reviewed these games sooner. But yeah, basically I've just put it in so it's just loading up, so I'm just basically going to go through the levels, review the game, maybe do a little bit of gameplay, but this might be difficult, you know, with one hand. So yeah, basically The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. So, on the back of the disc, the camera's not focusing, but I'll just read it anyway. Combine your strengths to defeat the White Witch, enter the magical wardrobe and fulfill your destiny to free Narnia from everlasting winter. So you can play as Peter, Susan, Lucy and Edmund. You can switch at any time between the four heroes and combine their strengths in team-up mode. You can battle more than 70 creatures, and you can get your friend to join the game at any time and play in co-op mode. This game is 1 and 2 players. Unfortunately there's no versus mode. It's just a co-op game, so if you've got a friend round, you know, you can team up. Some of the levels are very tedious. I remember I haven't played this game in so long, but I do remember some of the levels are very tedious if you're playing on your own. And I remember very slow loading times as well. I'm not sure if it's quicker on like the Xbox version or anything. But yeah, basically reading the instructions whilst the game's just sort of up and running. Yeah, so basically each of the children have different abilities and, you know, different techniques that you use. Apparently I haven't got a save mode because it normally does go onto the level screen. So this is kind of the game. I'm going to pause it here. So basically, as the game says, yes, you can play it as Peter, Susan, Edmund and Lucy. I might have to maybe stop the recording and just finish the level just to get onto where the main levels are. Apparently I haven't got a save file. I thought I did, but it's been that long since I've actually played this game. So I may have to do that. So I may have to jump cut here, but yeah, basically I'm going to go over each character now. So yeah, you play as Peter, Susan, Edmund, Lucy. Certain levels you may only be able to play as like Peter or Edmund. So all 4 characters may not be available in all the levels. So yeah, so obviously starting with Peter. Peter is the strongest physically, so if you're battling a lot of enemies on the game, Peter is probably the best one to use. Edmund's also good at fighting, but I'd say Peter is probably the strongest. If you're fighting long distance, Susan's probably the best, but up close, Susan is terrible on the game. Her main attack is like a kick. It's like a spin kick. She does very little damage. Lucy, she does like little jabbing punches, so she can't really fight either. But yeah, basically, I'll explain more later, but I'm just going to jump cut here, so I'll see you guys in a second. So I'm hoping that works. I've just quickly completed the first level, or just about. So yeah, fighting enemies, you're best off using Peter or Edmund. If to start with, they basically just punch. In early levels, before you get your sword, you just use twigs, although Peter does get... Originally I thought it was like a lightsaber, or it looks like a lightsaber, but yeah, he gets a sword I think in one of the early levels, but most of the time, where's the remote? Yeah, most of the time you use a stick basically as like a weapon. Susan, she does get the bow and arrows quite early in the game, but if you don't have bow and arrows, she throws snowballs. And Lucy, she doesn't, although she does get a dagger, technically you can't use the dagger in the game. So I'm just going to quickly go over the levels and basically all the stuff you can do. So the first level is called the Air Raid. Now I know you probably can't see this because I'm recording on my phone. That was a level that I just quickly did off camera. Essentially you're in the parents' house and you can... essentially you're in the parents' house and you basically have to... It's a timed level, you basically got to get out the house before the bombs blow the house up. The second level is called the Glimpse of Narnia. Now, I do remember this level, you can only play as Edmund and Lucy. Between these two levels, there is a bit of a time cut. There is a bit of a time cut here, basically from the air raid. So after the air raid, you know, the children get sent to the professor's house, they get sent to the professor's house, then Lucy finds Narnia, meets Thomas. The game cuts that all out, basically, so you don't get to see that in the game. It just sort of cuts to where Edmund discovers Narnia, he meets the White Witch, and then when he's leaving he finds Lucy and they both leave together, and that's basically where this level comes in. The spare room, which is the third level in the game. I love the level design as well, the fact that, you know, it's obviously the full wardrobe. The spare room is basically in the professor's house. Lucy goes off in a strop basically because no one believes her. Edmund, obviously, he's not gonna stick up for Lucy. So essentially you've just got to like chase Lucy around the house essentially. Lantern Waste, which is where all four first enter Narnia, so you're going to Mr. Thomas's house. To Western Wood, which is where you meet Mr. Beaver. I think that's the level where you get a specific item, which I'll talk about in a sec. The next level is Through the Tunnel. This is one of the most annoying levels in the entire game. I remember this, it's very tedious. You know, there is a few collectibles that I will discuss. But yeah, Through the Tunnel, if you're trying to collect everything in that level, prepare to be very stressed. You have to have a very quick attention span and very like flexibility in your fingers. You've got to be very quick. The next level is Frozen Lake, which is obviously where you're on the lake. Beaver Dam, which I think that's a boss actually, I think that's before. I can't remember the order of the levels. We've got the Great River, we've got the Witch's Castle, Battle of Baruna, Follow Aslan, Rescue Edmund, which is again another very annoying level. We have the White Witch, and then we have the Great Battle. So collectathons. Let me just read the instructions. There are statues from a certain level. There are statues that you can basically collect. There's so many per level, and depending on how many you can collect, you can actually use these statues in the Great Battle level, so you can call upon reinforcements. There's bonus shields, which I'm not entirely sure what they do. I think if you go to the bottom of the wardrobe, there's a thing called bonus content, and you can actually see William, Skandar, Georgie and Anna record their voices for the movie game, which is pretty cool, but you need to get a certain percent of the game to unlock them. So you actually get to see them sort of playing the game themselves, playing as themselves technically in the game, and it's pretty cool actually. I think that's what the bonus shields are for. But yeah, like I said, there is coins to collect in the game. Now these coins are used to buy unlockables, basically to make your character stronger. You get unlockables for your health, you get unlockables for like certain abilities that you can do, so you basically get stronger as you progress through the game. So yeah, basically Peter and Edmund, they use a stick I think at first, but then Peter does get the sword and Edmund later gets the sword as well. Susan, she gets the bow and arrows very early on. If she doesn't have the bow and arrow, she throws snowballs. Apparently she's very quick at throwing. And Lucy basically doesn't really get an item. Lucy and Edmund, sometimes you have to use Edmund and Lucy to get across certain areas. There might be like a certain area of ice that Peter and Susan are just too heavy to go over, so you need to use Edmund and Lucy to find a safe path across. So yeah, all in all, a very good game. I just remember the Rescue Edmund level. I remember that being very, very tedious. And I remember, where has it gone? The tunnel level. Yeah, through the tunnel. That is the most annoying level of the game. So yeah, I apologise for the fact you can't really see much gameplay. But obviously I'm recording on my phone, so it's pretty bad footage, and the camera's not really focusing today. So I do apologise for that. But here it is. That's my review for The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, the PS2 game. Straight after this, I will be recording my review for Prince Caspian. So stay tuned.